Imagine a world where a simple touch holds more power than any weapon, a glance more precious than gold, a revolution sparked by quiet kindness, not war cries. For centuries, rigid barriers and prejudice fractured humanity into unforgiving castes. Then a man saw divinity in every soul, a peace pilgrim whose potent weapon was compassion. Today we explore this magical force, dissolving humanity's toughest divides, guided by the Mahatma's timeless teachings. Hey there, and welcome aboard this inspiring journey of reflection. In a world that often feels fractured, with both visible and unseen walls rising between us, who hasn't felt distant, misunderstood, or witnessed the sharp sting of exclusion? It's a truly universal human experience, isn't it? This deep-seated longing for connection often clashes head-on with pervasive indifference. Historically, entire societies were built upon rigid hierarchies, cruelly separating folks by birth, wealth, or health. At the very core of this division, a glaring absence of something truly fundamental: genuine compassion. We've all seen how this void can tear communities apart, leaving lasting scars on countless lives. It's tough stuff. Today we're going to dive headfirst into the life of a man who transformed that gaping absence into his most powerful rallying cry: Mahatma Gandhi. His story isn't just about a political leader liberating a nation. It's the tale of a soul master who practically demonstrated how compassion holds the key to dismantling even the most deeply entrenched barriers. How could simple acts of caring for the marginalized and sick become a profound philosophical manifesto, a quiet revolution whose echoes still resonate powerfully today? This isn't just ancient history, it's a blueprint for modern connection. We're talking about real-world impact that can change your perspective for good. Join us as we uncover how Gandhi, by bravely treating the untouchables as absolute equals, didn't merely alter India's destiny. He actually handed us an eternal pathway to embracing our truest humanity. His insights are surprisingly relevant, offering solutions for today's societal rifts, urging us toward a kinder, more connected existence. Before we continue with this incredible story, please do us a solid and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you're enjoying it, and tell us in the comments below what city and country you're tuning in from. Your engagement truly helps our community grow, so thanks a bunch. 19th century India was an intricate labyrinth of traditions and strict hierarchies. Here, the untouchable caste, tragically, lived on society's very fringes, condemned to utter ostracism and a crushing denial of basic human dignity. Young Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was quickly confronted with this brutal reality, witnessing raw injustice daily. Far from dry treatises and grand speeches, it was his quiet observation, the heart-wrenching sight of starving children and ailing adults whom no one dared approach, that sowed a deep, unsettling seed of unrest within his soul. He couldn't shake these images, feeling the weight of their silent suffering keenly. This initial exposure to systemic injustice profoundly shaped his early consciousness. It wasn't merely a fleeting thought, but a foundational shift. His inherent sensitivity to the suffering of others began to meticulously mold his future mission, setting him on an unavoidable collision course with established societal norms. He openly challenged the very essence of a society that aggressively prohibited the most fundamental of human connections: a simple, compassionate touch. This seemingly small act carried immense philosophical weight, signaling the start of a quiet, yet formidable rebellion against deep-seated discrimination. Gandhi recognized that true change wouldn't come from mere rhetoric. It had to emerge from a profound personal awakening to the injustice ingrained in the everyday. His discomfort wasn't just intellectual, it was an emotional response, a deep-seated empathy that refused to be silenced or ignored. This chapter delves into those pivotal early moments when Gandhi's moral compass fiercely clashed with deeply entrenched societal wrongs, showing how his youthful empathy for the downtrodden began to forge the powerful path of radical compassion he would ultimately walk. What a start to a momentous journey. Upon returning to India and establishing his ashrams, communities centered around simple living and deep meditation, Gandhi didn't merely preach equality from a podium, he lived it wholeheartedly. He threw open the doors of his own home to the Harijans, literally children of God, his affectionate term for the untouchables. He invited them to live, work and share meals right alongside everyone else. No questions asked. Initially, his wife, Kasturbai, met this radical decision with considerable resistance, wrestling with centuries of ingrained prejudice. It wasn't an easy transition for anyone involved, challenging deeply held beliefs, but Gandhi was utterly unyielding. He firmly believed that India's true liberation wouldn't just be political, it would have to begin within each individual heart, meticulously dissolving the unseen, yet incredibly robust barriers that tragically separated people. For him, inner transformation was paramount. This chapter beautifully chronicles the immense challenges and the remarkable triumphs of this deeply radical initiative. In Gandhi's ashrams, compassion wasn't merely a lofty philosophical idea or a distant aspiration. It was a vibrant, living, breathing mode of daily existence, rigorously practiced and fiercely defended. Through shared lives and communal responsibilities, the ashrams became powerful microcosms of the egalitarian society Gandhi envisioned. They showed that unity wasn't just possible, but deeply enriching, proving that respect and understanding could genuinely bridge historical divides, one interaction at a time. His unwavering commitment dramatically transformed the social dynamics within these communities, creating a groundbreaking blueprint for a more inclusive society. It was here that the philosophical underpinnings of his compassion were robustly tested and undeniably proven, inspiring countless individuals to re-examine their own biases. Gandhi's profound compassion wasn't just expressed through grand symbolic gestures. It actively manifested itself in concrete, hands-on acts of unwavering care. Within his ashrams, it wasn't at all uncommon to witness him personally tending to the sick, meticulously cleaning wounds, or lovingly serving food. He would even assist with the personal hygiene of those whom society had, quite cruelly, deemed impure. He wasn't one to delegate these essential tasks. He wholeheartedly embraced them himself, directly challenging the deeply ingrained concept of impurity through his own powerful and dignified example. There's a particularly poignant story where he dedicated himself to caring for a leper, carefully washing his wounds and offering him genuine comfort. This act, so simple, yet so utterly profound, simultaneously shocked and deeply inspired countless observers, truly shaking their preconceived notions about impurity. Gandhi understood that true compassion meant getting down into the trenches, literally. His touch became a potent balm, not just for the suffering body, but also for the deeply wounded soul, powerfully reaffirming the inherent dignity that rightfully belonged to every single human being, without exception. By engaging directly in these intimate acts of service, he dismantled prejudices more effectively than any speech could. His presence was a silent sermon, teaching everyone around him that humanity's worth isn't dictated by social status or physical condition, but by its very essence. This chapter vividly details those incredibly intimate and immensely powerful moments, demonstrating how Gandhi's gentle touch acted as a profound healing force, not only for physical ailments, but also for the deep societal schisms that desperately needed mending. It was a masterclass in living philosophy. Gandhi's deep compassion flowed well beyond his personal actions, rapidly swelling into a national campaign for social justice. He undertook impactful fasts and arduous marches, fighting not just for India's hard-won independence, but equally for the complete abolition of untouchability, a stain on humanity. His speeches, resonating with a potent mix of love and unwavering firmness, boldly challenged the consciences of his fellow compatriots. He refused to let them ignore the suffering right under their noses, pushing for a moral awakening that was long overdue within the nation's fabric. He quite deliberately renamed the marginalized caste, affectionately calling them Harijans, or Children of God. This wasn't merely a linguistic change, it was a profound, strategic attempt to radically redefine their identity and elevate their status in the national consciousness, giving them back their inherent worth. This chapter explores the most public and politically charged phase of his compassion. It shows us how he expertly leveraged his immense influence and personal sacrifices to amplify the voices of those who had historically been silenced, utterly transforming individual virtue into a formidable force for social change. His unwavering commitment to the Harijans often drew criticism, even from his own allies, yet he never wavered. Gandhi understood that true freedom was indivisible. India couldn't be truly free if a segment of its population remained oppressed and denied their fundamental human rights. Through these public campaigns, Gandhi proved that compassion isn't just a quiet sentiment, it's a powerful catalyst for legislative and societal transformation. He left an indelible mark, ensuring that the struggle for dignity for the untouchables became an integral part of India's fight for liberation. Right up to the very end of his extraordinary life, Gandhi remained a luminous beacon of unwavering compassion. He steadfastly continued to live among the most vulnerable, to eat with them, and to fiercely defend their rights, even when these principled stands cost him the crucial support of other powerful groups. His tragic death, a poignant martyrdom for peace and unity, stood as the ultimate testament to a man whose entire life was an earnest prayer for the dignity of all beings. He truly walked the talk, embodying his principles until his very last breath, leaving an indelible mark. Gandhi's profound legacy isn't solely India's independence, it's a far deeper lesson. True greatness resides in our capacity to profoundly love and meticulously care for those living on society's margins. It's about truly seeing our own shared humanity reflected in the other. This includes even those who appear most different from us, pushing us to transcend superficial distinctions. His message challenges us to look beyond labels, beyond status, and truly connect on a soul level. It's a call to action for radical empathy that resonates across generations. He taught us that when we truly uplift the most downtrodden, we uplift ourselves, and indeed, all of humanity. This isn't just altruism, it's a profound understanding of our interconnectedness, a spiritual truth that transforms both the giver and the receiver. This chapter beautifully concludes our narrative, powerfully solidifying the enduring impact of Gandhi's remarkable life and the universal message of his boundless compassion. His teachings continue to inspire generations, proving that love, in its purest form, can indeed conquer all, even the deepest-seated prejudices. The incredible story of Mahatma Gandhi, his relentless pursuit of the marginalized, the sick, and the untouchables, and his unconditional treatment of them as absolute equals, is far more than a historical account. It stands as a timeless, living lesson on the transformative, revolutionary power of unwavering compassion. We've seen firsthand how he meticulously dismantled society's most deeply entrenched barriers, not through brute force or coercion, but through the sheer, unadulterated strength of love. He didn't rely on empty rhetoric. Instead, he demonstrated his philosophy through continuous, humble acts of care and selfless service. Compassion, as Gandhi masterfully taught us, isn't just a passive feeling of pity, something fleeting. It's an active, vibrant virtue, an intense and profound desire to genuinely alleviate the suffering of others, which vigorously propels us into meaningful, impactful action. It's truly a force of nature. This powerful virtue constantly reminds us that beneath the often superficial differences of skin, belief, status, or even health, resides a fundamental, shared humanity. When we intentionally cultivate compassion, it doesn't just positively transform the lives of those we help. It profoundly transforms us too. It cracks open our hearts and vastly expands our innate capacity for deep, authentic connection with others. This personal growth is undeniable, leading to a richer, more empathetic existence. It's a win-win scenario, fostering a ripple effect of kindness throughout our communities and beyond. In our daily lives, particularly in a world still grappling with polarization, intolerance, and pervasive indifference, Gandhi's powerful example stands as an illuminating beacon. How might we actively apply this profound lesson in our own modern context, making a tangible difference today? It's something to ponder. Perhaps it begins with the seemingly small act of truly listening to someone without immediate judgment, or extending a helping hand to a neighbor genuinely in need, or looking well beyond the superficial labels that society so often thoughtlessly imposes. These small steps accumulate into giant leaps. Gandhi's enduring compassion fiercely challenges us to actively perceive the untouchable within our very own realities, be it the stigmatized person, the lonely soul, or the one suffering silently nearby, and to offer not just our assistance, but our full, undivided humanity. Because, as the Mahatma proved, compassion doesn't merely dissolve the barriers between human beings. It profoundly reconnects us to the very essence of what it truly means to be human. one with each other, one with the vast, intricate universe. Thank you for watching. What part of Gandhi's story moved you most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like for more wisdom. See you next time.